Good day. This is our Java tutorial, and today we're gonna create an application that will compute the salary of an employee in a company. What we're gonna use is the Eclipse IDE, which you can freely download on the internet. We'll provide the links below, and we'll also try to cover the basics of an object-oriented programming.
First, we're gonna create a new Java project. This project will hold 4 classes. Let's begin. First, click New and then New Java project. We're gonna name it Salary Computation. Then click Finish.
Now, we're gonna create 4 classes, which will be the main class and 3 other classes. So, just click the new class, and this will be our main class, and we're gonna name it main1. And just check the public static void main. After that, just click finish, and we're gonna create 3 more. Same process, just click class, and this class will be named as the person. We're not gonna name or check one of this because we already have our main. So finish, and 2 more. New class employee, click finish, file, new class salary. Now what's gonna happen here is that the person class will be inherited into the employee class, and the employee class will be inherited into the salary class. And what inheritance is just, it's the way a member of class will be given or will be acquired by the other class. So all of the members except the constructors and the private variables will be used by the other class. So the keyword for inheritance is extends. Since salary will inherit all of the members in the employee class, then public class salary extends the employee. And since employee is going to inherit all the members of the person class, then the public class employee extends person. Now, this person class should have the variables in which the details of the person will be stored. Now, we create one variable for the name, and we're gonna make it private string name and semicolon. And why we made it private is because of what we call encapsulation. And encapsulation is making the field variables or field members private in order for the program to be more secure. Okay. Now, after we have the private string name, we're gonna have the private int age. Okay. In the employee class, we're gonna have the variables private double wage and the private string position. Here in the salary class, we're gonna have the field variables of private double time, which will be the time the employee worked for the company, and the private double salary. Now, in order for us to be able to use this private methods, or I should say private members, we have to use the methods that are called accessors and mutators. So accessors and mutators are the methods that are used in encapsulation. What an accessor is that it will let you or allow the user or the programmer to see what the value of the private variable is. And what a mutator is that it just changes the value of the variable. So in creating a accessor, which is very easy, just public and whatever the data type of the variable we're gonna get. Let's say this. So public string, then just get, which is the keyword for the accessors and whatever we're trying to get. So get name, it holds no parameters, and it will just return the value of the name. Then we already have the accessor for our variable name. Now we're gonna create its mutator. So it's also very simple, just public, and all of the mutators will have a return type of void because it doesn't return anything, it just changes the value. So public void set name, it will have the parameter of whatever we have to set the name, the field variable name. So let's just say string name. Then this dot name is equal to name, which means this refers to the class itself. So the name variable in the class itself, which is this, will have the value of whatever it is that is transferred in the parameter. So that's it. So now we're gonna copy and paste this, and just since age is an int, so public int get age, return age, sorry about that, and set age and int age. Now this dot age should be equal to age. Okay, we're just gonna copy it on the other side too. So we have to do this and do this. I'm very lazy, so just copy and paste that and change this into get wage, return wage. Oh, return wage, and this is a double. So set wage. Later, we'll deal with that later. So get position, and it's gonna return a position. Now what we're gonna do in the set wage and the set position is that we'll make the user input whatever is the position of the person that we're gonna put their details in. So it only will give them two choices. It's either 1 or 2, and 1 if the person is a manager, or 2 if the person is a service crew. So let's say if position is equal to 1, then wage will be equal to, let's say if you're a manager, you're gonna have a wage of 75 pesos per hour. So just put there, and else if position is equal to 2, just wage will be equal to 50, and that's it. So we'll have the parameter of int position, which will be the value whatever the user will choose between 1 and 2. So if you're a manager, you're gonna have a 75 pesos wage, and if you're a service crew, you're gonna have 50 pesos wage. So it only varies by the position they have. So just copy this and paste it here, because we're gonna also do it there, and set position. Let's just copy this too and paste it here. If position equals 1, then this dot position is equal to manager. And let's say if position is equal to 2, then this dot position is equal to service crew. There. So we have an error here because it's an int and we're returning a string. So just change it to string and it's all done. Now in the salary is also very simple. We'll just change also this. Just change it to double, and just get time, and here it's also double, and we'll have get salary. In the set time, we'll ask them how much time did they work for the company. So just int, or should I say double time. Okay, so the time should be equal to the parameter time. Now get time will return whatever the time is, and get salary will return salary, and set salary will have no parameters here, and now salary will be equal to get time multiplied by the get wage. Okay, so we have the accessors and mutators in all our classes and all our variables. Now we're gonna have to make the constructors on each classes. And what a constructor is it's the method that does it work as soon as a instance or an instance of a class is created. So just in order for us to create a constructor, just type public and whatever the name of the class is. Let's say public person, and we'll have the parameters. We'll have two parameters, which is the string name and the int age. And here we're gonna call the methods that were created, the set methods. So we're gonna set the details in here. So just set name and name, then set age, and just type age and semicolon. So what's gonna happen here is that as soon as the instance or an instance of this class is created, this parameter will be carried through this method So this parameter will be inputted into this method and will be the parameter for this method. So name will be equal to this. So we had set the variables, the values of these variables. Now we're gonna have an error here, and it says implicit superconstructor person is undefined for default constructor, must define an explicit constructor. If you create a constructor from the superclass, you have to call the constructor of the superclass in its subclass, so we have to do that. So public will create the constructor for this class. Employee, since it's the name of our class, will have the parameters of string name and int age, and we're also gonna put here this is also gonna have parameter of the position. Okay. Here we should use the super keyword, and what the super keyword is that it refers to the constructor of the superclass. So super, and since the constructor of this superclass has two parameters, we should have values, two values here, which can also be get by getting it from here. So just put it name and age. One of the rules in using the super keyword is that it has to be the first thing to be called in the constructor. So we can put other lines here because it will have an error. So it should always be the first. Okay. Here we're also gonna set the position, and the parameter will be position, and set wage and the position. Okay, now this, since it's also a subclass with a superclass that has a constructor that holds parameters, it should also call the super keyword. So just create the constructor for this, which would be public salary, and then just copy the parameters here and paste it here. Add the time, and now it should call the super keyword and just type this name, age, and the position, because the superclass of this class has three parameters. See, so you have to input it there and then just set the time and set the wage, set the salary. Now our program is almost done. We're gonna create the display method here, so just create the display method. Public void, it's gonna be void since it's only gonna display the values of each variable. So public void display info, holds no parameters, and it's just a bunch of lines consisted with system.out.print line, and do it like this, and system.out.print. We're gonna show every details in here. So let's say name plus get name, and just copy it for 5 more since we have 6 variables. Name, age, and get age, and let's say position, and get position. Let's say the wage, get wage, time worked, and get time. Now last is the salary, which gets salary. So now we have the display info. Now we're gonna code into the main class. Okay. First, we have to import the scanner because we're gonna have to make the user input some details. So input in java.util.scanner. Okay. So here we're gonna create two scanner objects since S1 is new scanner system.in and copy it and paste it here. S2 will be our second scanner, and why we created two scanner is because we're gonna have to input a digit and a string. So the problem here in Java is that sometimes when you're using one scanner for digits and string or characters alike, it's having some problems. So we're gonna have to use two scanner, one for the digits and one for the characters. So now we're gonna ask the user if how many person or employee details he or she will create. So just system.out.print enter number of employees and we're gonna use the S1 since it's an int, but first let's declare a variable here. So int length will be the length of the array and int length equals S1 dot next int. Okay, now we're gonna have to declare the array of an object that we're gonna create. So salary array, let's name our instance as SO equals new salary with the length of whatever the user inputted. So and it's gonna loop through it. So we're gonna create a for loop for int x equals 1 as long as x is less than the length, and increment it. So here in this first loop we're gonna ask the user for the details of the person. So system.out.print enter name. Let's just say enter name. Now in the enter name we're gonna use s2 dot next line since we're asking for a string, so we have to use the s2, but since we're gonna use the variable here, so let's just say string. We're gonna declare variable name is equal to s2 dot next line. Okay, we're gonna copy it for 3 more times. Oh god, what have I done? Okay, copy it and very sorry about that. Copy, paste and paste and paste. So system.out.print enter age, which will be int age, and it uses s1 and next int. Here system.out.print enter position. Let's give them choices. Enter position 1 if you're a manager or the person is a manager, or 2 if the person is a service crew. Okay, it's gonna have a data type of int position s2.next int. Just change this into int. Let's see if we're right. Yeah, it's an int position there. So system.out.print enter, let's say enter hours worked. It's gonna ask for the time, which should have a data type of double, and double time s2.next. No, this will be s1, and this also should be s1 x double. Then here we're gonna call the constructor of this instance that we're creating. So so index x is equal to new salary, which will have the parameters of the name, the age, the position, the time. So okay, what's gonna happen here is that as long as you entered all these details here, the instance of the salary object will be created and will run this method here that has the same number of parameters. So we're gonna just change it into int x equals 0, since we're gonna start at the index 0. Okay, now lastly, what we're gonna do is we're gonna display the details that we've created. Copy and paste, and just so index x dot display info. Okay, now let's see if this program works or runs good. So just run it and save, and let's wait for it. So we have the console here, just put it here. So we have a larger tab. Enter number of employees. Let's say we have 2 employees. The first name is Adrian and the age is 21. Position, which is a manager who works 21 hours, and the other employee will be named as, let's say, Christelle, and her age is 24, which is a service crew and also worked for 21 hours. So now we have here the name, the age, the position, wage, the time he worked, and the salary that he will be getting. So, and the second one is the name, age, position, wage, time, work, and salary. And I think we're done here. The program is complete.
I hope you learn a lot from this tutorial, and thank you. So please like and share. Subscribe. Peace out.